Ash has been the main protagonist of Pokemon for 23 years now. Along the way he has travelled through 7 regions and to many other places in the Pokemon world, battling and capturing many different types of Pokemon. As the date of this video was recorded, Ash has managed to obtain 55 different Pokemon. So I wanted to go over what I think would be Ash's ultimate team, the strongest team he could put together for a full 6-on-6 battle out of every single one of his Pokemon, whether they have been released or not. The team will be devised on how strong the Pokemon is, but also on a type balance throughout the team, so 2 Pokemon of the same type won't be included apart from just one instance. I think it's fair to say that Ash usually has an ace Pokemon in most of the regions that he travels in. Alolan was slightly different. He had a very powerful team where you could consider a lot of them his ace. For me it would have to be between Dust Lycanroc and Incineroar, but I'm sure people will have their own opinions on that. With Ash having so many different aces from different regions, even all of them wouldn't fit into this one team, so I wanted to come up with what I think would be his best team, and make the hard decision of excluding certain Pokemon, so sorry to all the Rowlet fans. I won't be including any of his new Pokemon such as Gengar, Dragonite or Riolu. Of course these could all become members of his team in the future, but we haven't seen enough of them just yet. The first Pokemon on this mega team is of course Ash's partner Pikachu. Pikachu will never leave Ash's side, it will stay with him until he eventually leaves the anime or until the anime ends. I think everyone out there would be extremely shocked if one day Pikachu got up and just left. But because Pikachu is Ash's first Pokemon doesn't mean it gets an automatic spot on his ultimate team for that reason alone. Pikachu has more than earned its spot on this team by showing time and time again just how strong it can be. I'm pretty sure there is no Pikachu alive in the Pokemon world which is stronger than Ash's. When Ash first got Pikachu it was really stubborn as ever and refused to listen, but once Ash showed how much he cared about Pokemon it quickly changed his mind, and over the years the two have formed such a strong bond, and their bond alone allows them to do unimaginable things. They overcome objectives that no Pikachu should be able to do. I think Pikachu really started to perform excellently in Sinnoh. It took down Tobias' Latios in the Sinnoh League, and this could be seen as its first real massive win. It then went on to rack up some big wins in the Kalos League, including against Alain's Metagross. I think its most impressive win is of course against Professor Kukui in the Alolan League exhibition match. It went head to head with Tapu Koko in one of the greatest conclusions to a battle we've ever seen, and managed to take it down with the ultimate Z move. There's so much that could still be said about how powerful Pikachu is, but really I'm pretty sure most people know, and it belongs in Ash's ultimate team and at his side at all times. The next Pokemon in Ash's ultimate team is Sceptile. In my opinion, Sceptile is Ash's strongest grass type. Ash usually always has a grass type on his team, the only exception would be Kalos and of course the new series so far. He has quite a few powerful grass types at his disposal, including 2 fully evolved starter Pokemon being Sceptile and Torterra, but we all know how poor Torterra seemed to perform once it evolved, so it wouldn't make sense to include Torterra on this team. He also has a Bayleaf, but again I don't think it's done enough to prove itself for this team either. The only other grass type who would give Sceptile a run for its money would be Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur has been with Ash since episode 10 of the anime, and throughout the years it can always be relied on by Ash, but ultimately it lacks the power because it refused to evolve, and Sceptile makes up for that power. As a Grovyle in Hoenn, it really stood out amongst Ash's other Pokemon. It seemed like a real leader of the group, and it racked up some nice wins including over Norman's Slakin and Winona's Altaria. But it really starts to shine in the Battle Frontier where it evolved into a Sceptile. It got its heart broken by a Meganium and couldn't use its moves for a while, but it overcame it with some help from Frontier Brain Spencer, and then he went on to take out 2 of Spencer's Pokemon in battle. After this we don't see much of Sceptile. In the last episode of Advanced Generation series it has an iconic battle with Mace Blaziken, and then again it returns in the Sinnoh League to take down Tobias' Darkrai, which was also a very impressive win. It's clear to see why Ash's Sceptile has proven itself time and time again, and it would deserve to be in this Ultimate 6 Pokemon. It would add so much power to Ash's team and would be wasted if he never used it again. Coming in the 3rd spot is Greninja. Up until Pikachu was able to Gigantamax, Greninja remained the only one of Ash's Pokemon that had a whole new form that upgraded its power. It was something we've never seen before. Obviously it was XY's way of giving Ash a Mega Pokemon, well actually giving him one. But it was awesome, the form looked amazing and its battle style was amazing. The way it linked Greninja and Ash was truly a great example of their bond. Greninja got so much development throughout Kalos and it's clear to see why it's a fan favourite. And many people hope to see it appear again, so let's be honest, how could it not be in Ash's Ultimate 6 team? Although Ash's Kalos team was very impressive, it was majorly carried by Greninja. If you were to compare Ash's Kalos team with Ash's Alola team, I'd say Alola was the better rounded team 100% of the time. Greninja was the heart and soul of Ash's Kalos team, and it packed plenty of power. It took Ash all the way to the Kalos League finals, where it racked up some impressive wins, including beating Sawyer's Mega Sceptile. And yeah, we all know it lost to Elaine's Mega Charizard, but that doesn't put it down for me. If anything, it makes it stronger. It went toe to toe with both Mega Charizard and Diantha's Mega Gardevoir. It would bring special bond to Ash's Ultimate team, and it would also just add the water type in as well, which is another common typing you'd see in many teams. So it would be perfect fit to return. The 4th spot goes to a fire type Pokemon. Now we all know that Ash has quite a few powerful fire types: Incineroar, Infernape, Pignite, Quilava and Charizard. And straight away we can get rid of Pignite and Quilava since they aren't fully evolved and aren't anywhere near as impressive as the other 3. Incineroar, I wouldn't feel right putting it in this Ultimate team because we didn't get to see it battle after it evolved, and I personally think it should have stayed as a Torracat. So it's between Infernape and Charizard, and it's honestly the toughest, most frustrating decision to make. I love both of these Pokemon, and they're both powerhouses. Infernape has insanely powerful Blaze ability, and Charizard has been around from the start. It shares such a massive bond with Ash. So both Pokemon could be picked here, but one had to prevail, and I chose Charizard. For me, Charizard is one of Ash's most important Pokemon. Despite Charizard being hyped up every generation by Game Freak, it will never sour my feelings towards Ash's Charizard. Seeing the story develop from a Charmander to a disobedient Charizard and then finally coming to obey it in the Orange Islands was incredible. Unfortunately, of late it's been forgotten. Recently Kiawe has had a Charizard and so does Leon, so Ash most likely won't return for now, but I think it still belongs in this team. It will be his first major ace, and it's been around for so long, taking down so many tough opponents, including an Articuno. It deserves its spot on this list, a bit more than Infernape in my opinion. We haven't seen Infernape since Sinnoh. Maybe if Ash brought it back once in a while it would have made the team, but he didn't, so Charizard gets my 4th member on the team. So you're probably wondering where the Alola Pokemon are, you know, the team that actually won Ash the Pokemon League for the first time ever. Well, the one Pokemon from Ash's Alola team that I think deserves a spot on this list is Lycanroc. Ash's Lycanroc seemed like a really special Pokemon. Ash met it early on in his journey when it was just a Rockruff before capturing it. Ash bonded with it and saw how much it wanted to get stronger, so he decided to capture it. Rockruff was very stubborn, and it still was as a Lycanroc. It refused to give in and hated getting its fur dirty. And the moment came where it finally evolved into Lycanroc, and it was Ash's very own brand new form. This was so cool, it was like Ash Greninja all over again, without the power up. Lycanroc was the real powerhouse, and it had a really good rivalry with Gladiion's Lycanroc as well, which all came to a conclusion at the Pokemon League final. Lycanroc's finishing blow with counter was what actually won Ash the Pokemon League, so how can Lycanroc not be here? I believe Lycanroc would make the best addition to this team from all of his Alola Pokemon, as its bond with Ash is probably the strongest. Much like a lot of Pokemon here on this team, and with it appearing in the end screen of the Pokemon Journeys, I can really see it returning soon. The final spot on Ash's Ultimate team was a tricky one. There were so many Pokemon I wanted to include, but it just wouldn't have made sense for me to do it. I wanted to include Infernape, but for the reasons I've already stated I didn't. Snorlax and Heracross were also ones I considered, but in the end I chose Krookodile. A balanced team is not just about power, but it's about battling and experience. Up until here we haven't included any Pokemon from Unova, which seemed slightly unfair. I also haven't included any Pokemon from Sinnoh, which saddens me, but other than Infernape I really can't see any of them making it into this Ultimate team. Krookodile would be a perfect choice. It's powerful, its new typing being ground, and it would give Ash an electric immunity. Of course it's also a dark type which shares a typing with Greninja, but Greninja never had any dark type stab, whereas Krookodile embraced both types, learning moves such as Crunch and Dig. It got Ash some big wins, including that massive win at the Junior Cup tournament against Iris's Dragonite. It just seemed to love battling, and with its famous sunglasses on you wouldn't miss it. So that is my 6 Pokemon for Ash's Ultimate team. Of course you might disagree, and that's totally fine. This is just my opinion, and I think this team would make for an awesome battle. Every single matchup would be a standout moment. I personally would love to see something like this at the end of the Pokemon anime. Let me know who you'd include in Ash's Ultimate team in the comments below. Please like and subscribe if you did enjoy, and see you next time.